1932, the United States Public Health Service launched the most shameful, hideous, and longest non-therapeutic experiment on human beings in medical history. The practitioners of the infamous Tuskegee syphilis experiment promised free medical care to over 400 African American and desperately poor sharecroppers in Macon County, Alabama. This wicked study was designed to document the progression of syphilis in black men. White scientists had long claimed that the disease manifested itself differently in blacks than in whites. Scientists decided to document this by finding a pool of infected black men, withholding treatment from them, and then charting the progression of symptoms and disorders as these men suffered in pain, eventually falling into insanity and dying. Now ain't that a bitch? The sad part is, a handful of African American healthcare providers actually worked with these sadists in order to mislead the test subjects for their continued compliance, as documented in this 1997 film, Miss Evers Boys, starring Alfre Woodard and Lawrence Fishburne.
Going!
No, please. Not, come on, Willie, you can't be thinking like that. Let me work on these legs.
Now, what you do is you drink your quarter that 18. At the beginning of the month, you'll be just fine. You double fly stepping in no time at all. Yes, he will.
He needs some new doctor.
What you doing in that costume?
Ain't no costume, it's a uniform.
You join the Army.
I figure it's my war just like it is theirs. I know what you thinking, nurse. You wanna know how I got in? With bad blood, huh? Got me one of them penicillin shots. Get one of them in you, that Wasserman test don't show nothing bad. Army couldn't wait to take a fine specimen like me.
You just gonna get yourself killed.
At least I get killed for something.
Ah!
That's what he need, one of them penicillin shots.
He's getting the best of care.
At no time were the men ever told that they had syphilis. Instead, they were told they had something called bad blood. By the 1940s, validation of penicillin as an effective cure for the disease was known, and still the experiment continued. Even in 1947, when penicillin had become the standard treatment for syphilis, the suffering of these black men and their families continued under the strict direction of the United States Public Health Service. The tally of those who suffered was nothing less than scandalous. By the end of the study, only 74 test subjects were alive. 28 of the original 400 had died of syphilis. Another 100 were dead from related complications. And over 40 of the wives had been infected, and 19 of their children were born with congenital syphilis. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment lasted 40 years, finally ending in 1972 after being exposed by reporter Jean Heller, when, in the Washington Evening Star newspaper, she ran this headline on the front page: "Syphilis patients died untreated." With those words, one of America's most notorious medical studies became public and soon after came to an end. On May 16, 1997, former President Bill Clinton issued a public apology at a news conference in Washington, D.C. One of the speakers at the conference was then Director of the Center of Disease Control, Dr. David Satcher.
Protect the public's health. Today is an historic event. As our President acknowledges the tragedy of the U.S. Public Health Service syphilis study in Tuskegee, and apologizes on behalf of the government for decisions made many years ago that still haunt us, we open a new chapter in public health. The U.S. public health study of untreated syphilis in the Negro male was wrong for many reasons. The study participants were never informed about the purpose of the study, never asked to give their informed consent to participate in the study, and were intentionally misled about receiving treatment. But by publicly admitting our mistakes, and acknowledging the role of the public health service in this study, we have an opportunity for a new beginning.
It's been 39 years since the Tuskegee syphilis experiment ended. In that time, the United States has seen many positive social changes and even elected its first black president. Yet the effects of the Tuskegee experiment can still be felt today through a deep mistrust of the medical industry by many African Americans. Some wonder if these emotional wounds will ever heal, and we can only hope and pray that they will. In the interim, we can only embrace the ideology of our Jewish brethren and vow never again.